Assalamu alaikum. I'm Brother Student Minister Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad, and this is one black man's opinion. My beloved brothers and sisters, on yesterday, the nation observed the July 4th celebration, the voting of the Declaration of Independence by the Continental Congress, but also the Nation of Islam celebrated its Declaration of Independence, observing the appearance of Master Fard Muhammad, the Savior, July 4th, 1930, making himself known in the city of Detroit and black bottoms in Paradise Valley. That being said, brothers and sisters, there was an unfortunate incident that took place in Highland Park, Illinois, where a suspect that has been arrested without incident is accused of shooting six, killing six, and wounding another 24 people with a high power rifle from a rooftop. In Akron, Ohio, a young black man, after a failed traffic stop and a police chase, was shot at by the police over 90 times and was hit 61 times. So, what I am asking in this one black man's opinion is, can we get the Black Eagle, Joe Madison, the Roland Martins, Gayle King, to sit down with members of the community and let's have a serious, sober, and sane discussion about separation and reparations? Well, you say, what? Oh, no, man. But you have roundtables about voting rights. You have roundtables about police brutality or police reform. You have roundtables about abortion. You have roundtables about everything. And why can't we have a roundtable about separation and reparations? Now, we already acknowledge, you said, well, that's some fantasy. Separation is a fantasy. Well, unfortunately, so is civil rights. It's something we still have not achieved. After the passage of the 14th and 15th Amendment, my question to you, as my question is to everyone, have we attained and are we treated equally under the 14th Amendment? If the answer is no, then what are we waiting for? Under the 15th Amendment, the freedmen, now remember the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment were the amendments passed for the freedmen, meaning the emancipated slaves. So my question to you, my beloved brothers and sisters, kind of goes like this. Have we benefited from the 13th Amendment? Yeah, we just celebrated Juneteenth, brother. We were freed. Oh, really? So the 13th Amendment was passed and it abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, except if you're duly convicted of a crime. So we have gone from the old Jim Crow today, the old Jim Crow that was instituted with the withdrawal of the federal troops in 1877 with the election of Rutherford B. Hayes, to a new Jim Crow that's created second-class citizenship and the stripping away of citizenship rights due to incarceration under the 13th Amendment. And so you say, well, this separation reparation thing is it's a fantasy, man. We need to keep fighting for our civil rights, keep fighting for, but has it benefited the masses of our people is the question. It's not about the elite. It's not about those who are acceptable in the society. It is about the masses of our people. Have the masses of our people benefited? Have we increased in our net worth? Have we increased in our educational attainment? Have we increased in our health care? Have we increased in any of the measurements, any of the indicators of progress? That's not to say that things haven't changed. The question is, have they changed for the better? So the question for us is that Black integration, is it really a failed social experiment? When we say Black integration is different. Black integration is us abandoning our communities we were segregated to, and not only abandoning our communities, but abandoning our institutions. So where's our hotels? We used to have them. Where's our insurance companies? We used to have them. Where are our banks? We used to have them. Where are our transportation companies? We used to have them. Where are they? It's good that you and I can sleep at the Hyatt. It's good that we can sleep at the Marriott. But why not, like the Mormons, why don't we own a Marriott? Where's our hotel chain? See, this is what I'm talking about. America owes us a debt of reparations. Randall Robinson gives you a wonderful breakdown. This is a reasonable man. This isn't a man that is some wild-eyed radical out there, bomb thrower. Have you read this book, The Debt by Randall Robinson? You should. It's a good read. Have you read the history of N'Cobra and his reparations movement? If you haven't, you should. So we can make a case for reparations, as Attorney Warren Muhammad has done in his book, The Case for Separation. He made a case for it. And there are other books, other scholars have written books about separation. Now, what I'm proposing to my good friend Roland and others is just simply this. Can we have, again, a roundtable like you have about school choice? Do you know that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Muslims in the 30s, the first confrontation they had with the police was over taking their children out of the public schools and establishing the University of Islam? We have already practiced school choice. So the conversation you have in 21st century, my friend Roland, is an old conversation for us. We should have been at that round table too that you had. But what I'm proposing, and I don't have to be the one on the round table, is that we do have a conversation. Have you ever seen this book? I have an autographed copy of it. It's called The Negotiation by Herman Cromwell Gilbert. It's an autographed copy I got of it. An autographed copy. I don't know if it's still in print, but it would be an interesting basis for the conversation. I tell you, the theme of it is, it got so bad there was a plebiscite or a vote held. And we had a negotiation to whether we were going to separate or stay within these United States. Let me close. You said it's ridiculous even having this conversation. Who are you to have this conversation? Well, I'm a free Black man. I'm free because I follow a free Black man. And this is one Black man's opinion. If I'm out of line with my leader and my leadership, then this is one Black man's opinion. But if I'm in line, then this one Black man has lined his mind up with the other Black men that have gone before. Let me break it down like this. In one of the most populous, richest states in the United States of America, one political party had their national or their state convention in Houston, Texas, just a few weeks ago. That party passed a resolution that they should put on the ballot whether Texas should secede from the Union. Now, you say, well, that's ridiculous. They can't do that. The Civil War settled all that. But you know, the Civil War never ended. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment were passed while the states, the southern states, particularly the white male Southerners that were part of Confederacy and the rebels, did not have a voice in that. You took, meaning the federal government, you took the property of these white male property owners and their heirs from them, which were our people, and you didn't compensate them. You didn't compensate them. But you know, in Britain, that when they ended slavery, you know what? When they ended slavery, beloved, they compensated the slave owners. The southern states, the red states as you call them, have been fighting the Civil War. They never stopped fighting. They just fought underground. It's called the Ku Klux Klan, Citizens Council, and they used domestic terror to beat back the freedmen and even you carpetbaggers and scallywags who supported what the Union did. You call it the War of Northern Aggression. It wasn't about slavery. It was about economics. It was about, man, get out of here. You know what it was about. You know what it was about. You know what your Constitution of the Confederate States said. So let's not play these semantic games. Look, my challenge to the Black Eagle, my challenge to Gayle King, my challenge to Roland Martin, to all of them, without mockery, without sarcasm, let's have this discussion. Now, I know many of you are scared to have it because of what happened with sundown towns, what happened in Tulsa, what happened to many of the Black towns that were established in Oklahoma, the Indian Territory, what happened in Wilmington, North Carolina, what happened in Rosewood and other massacres that have taken place, Nicodemus, Kansas, and other places that these things have taken place where we've tried to establish settlements. I understand all that. But we have a right to have that conversation. We should be free to have that conversation and not take that off the table, but put everything on the table because we deserve the right to determine what's in our own best interest. And if we continue to find, as Gerald Horne, Professor Gerald Horne, and Professor Greg Carr saying that America's sliding toward fascism, do you want to live under a fascist state? I know I don't want my grandchildren to live under that. And if we don't want our grandchildren and children to live under a fascist state, then brothers and sisters, we are obligated to have this conversation because we're finding out that these people are absolutely disagreeable to live with in peace. Are we going to cry and whine and all of that when in November the Republicans take back the House and maybe the Senate and render President Joe Biden's administration, last 2 years of it, just really powerless? That's the way they set up this government. What are we going to do then? What happened to our Police Reform Act? I'm asking my good friend Ben Crump, what happened to the Police Reform Act? George Floyd, what did we march for? What was Black Lives Matter all for? Where is our Voting Rights Act, our John Lewis Voting Rights Act? Where is it? HR 40, Congresswoman Lee? Okay. When we gonna have this conversation with this commission about slavery and see whether we do reparations? And why amongst you so-called liberals in academia, you law professors, you can have conversations about everything from A to Z, from nuts to both, but you can't have a conversation about reparations or the possibility of separation for black people who want to get away from you. Go back to Africa, you say, well, if you support wherever we go for 20, 25 years, like you did your little brother Israel, you said, well, where would we set this place up? That's the discussion we want to have it. Give us 5 states, give us 8 states. You said, well, there's white people living there. Move them out. You said, we can't do that. Well, you did it to the Palestinians. You like pretending like you really care about the Palestinians. You don't care about that. You resettling your little brother in Israel, and piece by piece, he's moving the Palestinians out. And you're saying nothing. You're doing nothing. So how about the sons and daughters of those you kidnapped? How about we establish and have some of this earth we can call our own, and you support us for 20, 25 years. And as the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, if we are no longer able to support ourselves, then you come with your machine guns and shoot us down. But if not, what if I put the proposition on the table that to save America, the United States of America, you had to give up 5 to 8 states to begin with in order to save this country? Would you do it? You said, well, what about the blacks that don't want to go? They can stay with you. They can stay with you. But if not, let's have that discussion. So my challenge is out there. I don't know if it'll get to them. They'll probably laugh it off. Well, who is this guy, Abdul Halim Muhammad in Houston, Texas, even putting this challenge out there? But I'm putting it out there. And invite some of the conservatives. I'd like to hear from the Shelby Steeles and others, Robert Woodard and others. I don't mind them being at the table. Serious people, though. I don't want no clowns, but serious people to have this conversation. Conservative, liberal, moderate, nationalists, Pan-Africanists, Muslims. We need to have the conversation. Let's see if you do it. Do you have a pair? Do you have the testicular fortitude or the ovarian audacity to do it? That's our challenge. So, my beloved brothers and sisters, I'm just putting it out there. Let's have a sane, sober, and serious, not debate, but dialogue about separations and reparations. This is one black man's opinion. What's yours? I'm Student Minister Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.